Hello, San Antonio. Welcome to Industry Pop-S-A, the foodie podcast. I am your co-host, Brandon, aka Sichuan Papí, and this is
Kristina Zhao. Nice to see y'all.
Chef Kristina Zhao. Well, welcome to episode 5. Today we've got a lot of headlines from the news. It seems like the headlines just blowing up. You're seeing all kinds of stuff happen in San Antonio on the food front, on the highways, right? And so we wanted to jump into current events and what's going on in the neighborhood. In addition to that, we're going to be going over the NRA's What's Hot 2025. It's a culinary forecast, what we should be looking towards next year, and we'll see if their forecast is as good as our local weatherman. If it is, then it's not so good. But I think,
Well, weatherman's not bad.
well, they kind of toe the line between making like predictions and just kind of not exactly, just towing the line between like not being wrong.
I see.
Yeah. So we'll see how they did, and so that's gonna be our curriculum for today. I always start off by asking my wonderful co-host, "How are you doing this week? How are you doing today?"
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. I'm mostly doing fantastic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm doing great as well. Today is Sunday, and as some of y'all may know,
Are you
Sunday.
wearing your Sunday pants?
Well, Sundays are like my day, I just feel this energy pulsing through me to go have fun. Historically, Sunday Fun Day was a big thing for me,
I
right?
see.
From the Montrose, Westheimer area in Houston, and it just
I know
really
you're a
hasn't
party boy.
left. It really hasn't left. And so what's been really cool is seeing San Antonio Sunday scene
Mm-hmm.
mature, where you can go out and get that Sunday Fun Day vibe. But to answer your question, I actually am wearing my Sunday pants.
I see. Let's see
Different
them.
ones from last week,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
Different ones from last week. So check these out, right?
Very nice. We got some. How would you describe this?
I would say like retro with like
Yep.
moto retro, like
Where did
motorcycle.
you acquire these?
I got these from Guess Jeans back when they made some really cool jeans. I haven't gotten, it's really hard for guys to find pants, at least for me, because especially in San Antonio, I typically get pants like overseas. The Great Britain has some great pants. Amsterdam, I've gotten some pants from Amsterdam.
Don't know any recommendations for Sichuan Papí to look for some pants? Please send them in.
Please send them in. I'd love to know where you can get some more
Bougie.
Sunday pants. All right. Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I would like to jump into, I think the biggest headline this week has been, of course, the Michelin Guide.
Yes.
The Michelin Guide.
Congratulations to all the winners in San Antonio and for bringing so much spotlight onto our city. We're very proud of all of y'all.
Yeah, so for those paying attention, it's a huge deal. It's all over the place. I mean, for San Antonio, I think this was maybe bigger than the Tyson Paul
Oh, yeah,
fight.
that also happened this year.
Yeah,
Huh?
that happened as well. But the Michelin Guide, I think for our news cycle, was like right there. Was like right there. So let's go over some of the restaurants that were recognized, and then we'll start with those that the Michelin Guide said you have to go check out. Okay, there's different levels of Michelin Guide awards and lore. Okay, and so this is the entry level. Okay, this is, hey, solid program. Go check them out. So we're gonna start with Barbecue Station. Okay, so they included some barbecue. Garcia's Mexican food.
Okay.
All right, so now they're like checking the boxes here. I can see what they're doing. Leche de Tigre, wonderful program, great cocktail program
Yeah.
as well. Little M's Oyster Bar. All right, so now we have some seafood in there.
Yeah.
We have Nicosi right
Yeah.
there, new to San Antonio. You can't even, like, we would not be able to do this in Nicosi because you can't bring cameras, phones, nothing, right? I was thinking, I haven't been there yet, but I am going to go, especially now that Michelin Guide says go. But I always imagine like you're walking into like a blank room, like either it's like pitch dark or you walk in and then it's like a white room. It's like It's like you walk in, it's just like vaults.
Check it out. I
We
think you'll be
should.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not take any pictures, I promise. On the record. Off the record, I don't know. If they catch me, well, pray for me. All right, going down, so we have signature, right? More fine dining experience. And then we also have 2M Smokehouse. So we have two barbecue making it on there. Of course, we are in Texas. San Antonio has some great barbecue. So I think that dominated the must go see, must go. So now we go to another step. Now we go to
Okay.
the Bib Gourmand.
I see.
Bib
So
Gourmand.
can you tell us what that means?
So the Bib Gourmand is not a 1 star, but it's a value, right? So you go there because of the prices, right? The experience, and you're not paying those same prices you would if you were going to like a restaurant that had a 1 star. So, and we'll get into what that pricing is, but it's affordable.
The food is fantastic, I imagine, as well.
Absolutely.
Preliminary
That's built in. I think
criteria,
the
right?
DNA of it.
Okay, okay.
So imagine now you're wearing a bib now,
Okay.
like where's my bib? And so our Bib Gourmand award winners are Cullum's Attaboy, okay? Cullum's, we've got Burnt Bean Co.
Okay.
We've got the Jerk Shack. All right. There you go, Chef Nicola. We have Ladino, all right, Mediterranean sprinkled in there. And then we have Southerly Fine Food and Brewery.
Yes.
Okay.
Very
So-
well deserved. All the
Yeah.
programs.
Now, there's a big influence from the Pearl there. Although Southerly does have 2 locations. Ladino's down at the Pearl.
Yep.
And then, of course, Chef Nicola has fried chicken at the Pearl as well.
Come on in.
We have a special guest. We have a
Cameo.
cameo special guest here. He's going to be joining us.
Hi.
Hop on
Chef
in.
Adesuwa is jumping in the mix here.
Welcome home, guys.
Thank you.
This is
Thanks, Chef.
exciting.
Thank
I
you.
like this setup. Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Doing great.
Excited to see you. Good to see you guys. How's the honeymoon?
It was wonderful.
Good. What are we
We traveled all over the world. We actually went to China for you, for our audience out there. We went to China and we traveled all over. We just got back
Yes,
a
you
couple weeks ago, and
The time is flying.
time is flying. It really is.
We're in what, the second, third week of November already? This year is almost over. Can you believe it?
It's almost over. Holidays are almost here. So if you haven't, you better be getting your holiday Thanksgiving platters. All right. Now here's a
Booking
plug.
Your holiday parties.
Holiday parties as well. Get those reservations. Right. So as you can see, we are at the Dashi Bar. We have a wonderful culinary program, and we are offering some platters. So check us out. Okay. And then, Chef, are you offering any holiday offerings?
We are going to be for sure doing pies, and we're doing some pumpkin cheesecakes this year.
Oh, wonderful. And you have an event coming up tomorrow, right?
I do have a gala at SeaWorld.
Oh, tell us more
So-
about this gala.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. So we're going to have 120 people from all over the industry at SeaWorld, and we're doing a full experience. There's lots of little
What
nuggets.
is
of
the gala
surprise.
for?
It's for the National Association of Catering and Events, which is my it's a national organization that supports catering professionals. So
You're the president
I
elect.
am the president elect, so I'll be president elect one more year too. So that way I'm gonna get you on the board and it'll be even better.
All right.
We're all together. You can come too. We can all go together. We'll be there together.
All right. We'll have our board meeting
Live on
Facebook. We're live on Facebook now, and we'll be posting this on our YouTube channel. And definitely check out the gala.
Yeah.
And
for pictures.
if you haven't noticed, we have been given some cocktails here, and this is the happy ending, because who doesn't like a happy ending? And Chef Kristina, what are you drinking there?
I'm having a dry gin martini.
Dry gin martini. Okay.
Fancy.
All right.
Fancy.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Now, so we've just gone through the Bib Gourmand, all right, and we're gonna go into the 1-star winners. Now, this is a big deal because San Antonio has not had a 1-star in its history. So this is a first. So can someone give me a drum roll? And we have the first Michelin Guide 1 star, and that is, drumroll, please, drumroll. And that is Michelin. Michelin. Give it up. Give it up.
Love that restaurant. So excited for them.
Yeah, that is
They're-
awesome.
Would love to go again if you guys stop reserving tables all the time and we have open reservations now. Love them.
Chef, I'm gonna send you a message later this week.
Exactly. Sneak us in.
Oh my goodness. But it seems like a lot of there's some crossover overlap to a lot of James Beard nods this year too.
Yeah, you're seeing some crossover, and that's just that's this reaffirmation that the programs that are garnering that national level recognition, they're doing it among many, like lots of recognition. And so I would just say, right now we have 1 star.
Mhm.
We have 1 star in San Antonio. Now, as we talked about the last podcast, San Antonio is paying 90,000 a year
Mhm.
for the Michelin Guide with other cities, 4 other cities, for them to be in and make a region for Texas. So
So I wonder what they're like. I mean, how long have they been scouting out the cities and how did they curate their list that they are visiting? I mean, there's so many, actually a lot of amazing
Great
restaurants in the city that I'm just maybe not sure if they were visited or what do you think that process is like?
So they have 3 years. So there's a 3 year contract. And I think that they probably visited multiple and then that their lineup is pretty deep. And so this is probably just the tip of the iceberg,
Right.
And then, even the Bib Gourmands could potentially be 1 stars, right? So you can ascend, but I think that there's going to be some programs, and I'll give you some, and maybe y'all can mention some off the top of my head. Chef Bruce Auden, right?
Okay.
Big on the banks. Do y'all have any?
We have Clementine,
I know. I see
Bliss,
Clementine.
Clementine, Bliss,
Frederiques,
Frederiques,
Nola,
Nola. Yeah,
Landino will move up. I really think it's going
possibly.
to move up.
yeah,
I
yes.
have to
They've
be a
got-
little biased and throw Dashi in the running
Gosh,
there.
good there, yes, for sure. Of
We have
course,
all of Chef Dadi's programs and
Chef
know,
Johnny's, Chef Johnny
Mhm.
Hernandez. So there's just
like
it's
there's
a
so
massive
many.
pool.
There's a lot of people who I think that if you were by our criteria and our visits to a lot of amazing establishments, there's we just are excited to see more programs being recognized.
I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm excited for the future, San Antonio and Michelin Guide.
Do you have stats on how many awards were given out to other cities?
Austin had the most, right?
Austin had the most, followed by Houston.
Uh-huh. And then San Antonio and then Dallas?
I think we were like at the
It-
very.
Did that coordinate based off of the price that people that
Well,
each city paid,
No,
or
because
no?
everybody paid the same amount.
Was
So
it equal?
that's what
I
that's
thought they
what
didn't pay
we're
equal.
Here, chef. Here's
Oh,
a happy
thank you.
ending.
Thank you for my happy. I'm so happy beginning right now.
I think according to our research, everybody split that evenly, right? It was a 90 from each city, I think.
Okay.
Yep. Each city's putting in 90. So congratulations to all those programs. Really excited. Lots of hard work from amazing operators. It's not an easy business. So when you get this type of recognition, which is global now, it's global recognition. I think that's even more than like USA. I know some of us have been on USA Today, Forbes, and things like that. But this is a global entity with the Michelin Guide. So let's just hope let's get international travelers in here. Let's get a new market of people curious about the San Antonio culinary programs, and I think it's good all around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm noticing there's just a little more diversity in the cuisine types. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a I don't think there's a single, well, actually Southerly has a little bit of
Southern.
French. Well, I was saying French cuisine's not too um what do you call it? Represented
But
or Italian.
I'd be surprised if Monchuchu didn't make the list next year.
Yeah, yeah. There's
I had a delicious lunch there just the other day.
We can now we have our daily dish too.
now we have yeah. So we've got the heritage ribeye here.
Ooh, that looks delicious.
All right,
I came at the right time.
You did.
Jasmine's
Steamed jasmine rice.
Jasmine sticky rice right here. So this is a holiday classic, the heritage ribeye.
Our Chengdu cowboy. So in Chinese, we call this guai wei. And in Sichuan cuisine, there's 27 different flavor profiles within the cooking, and guai wei is one combination of like sweet and sour, but it has a little bit of spiciness to it. It has the tanginess. It's not so sweet, but it's a variation of that, and you can definitely get that little Sichuan peppercorn kick in this one, and it's like like a Chinese steak and potatoes almost.
Yeah, here it is,
Good.
y'all. This is what we're talking about here.
And of course,
Beautiful.
in our tradition, we serve everything family style. So it's great to get a couple items and make a meal, share amongst friends. Food brings people together.
There you are.
You know.
See,
Thank you.
I'm working on my
Cute.
my Wheel of Fortune,
Oh,
right?
So
You know, like-
good. So good, Brandon. So good.
and then we have our
we have our snow pea shoots. These are
seasonal snow pea shoots.
in season. These are winter season vegetables.
Is that why they call them snow peas?
I'm not sure about that. They're in
Well,
season in the winter.
Certainly appropriate. I think we're going to hit winter sometime soon here in San Antonio. I don't know because it's still 80 degrees outside.
Don't jinx it.
Eventually we'll get there. Okay, so we're gonna move on.
Oh, and we've got another.
All right, we have another chef here making a cameo appearance.
We all
Come
just
on,
we're all
we were
hanging
just
out.
talking about you.
All right. Chef Dorian here in the house.
Come on, Chef Dorian.
Hop on in here if you like.
I'll be back here.
Okay.
Are you
It's a full house, y'all.
coming
It's a full
or
house.
coming or going from your grocery trip?
I just left the house.
I see.
I don't know what it
Well,
was
we all were hungry and we all just came here.
Yeah.
Good food. We knew where to
We
come.
were just
What you guys
talking
doing?
about our daily dish
Ah.
and the daily dish on what's going on in the city with the Michelin guides and
Uh-huh.
all of the things.
So we'd like to introduce our amazing friend here, Dorian of BLISS. Yeah, talk about next year Michelin guide.
Right.
Yeah, BLISS. If you haven't been to BLISS,
We'll see.
oh my God.
One step at a time.
BLISS is fantastic. Wow, this is a chef reunion in a podcast.
You know it was coming.
This
No.
Industry Pop.
This is-
See, this is what happens on Industry Pop culture.
When you
right?
wear your fun pants.
Mm-hmm.
When I wear my fun pants. Okay.
That's what I came to see.
So our next topic, our next headline, if y'all haven't seen this, okay, there's going to be January 1st a new smoking
Try your
ordinance
Okay, feast it.
in San Antonio.
New smoking ordinance.
A new smoking ordinance. Right? So
No more vape.
no more vape. No more vape. So the
No more
city of
vape.
San Antonio, the city council has approved an update to the city smoking ordinance aimed at. Now, this is how you know there's like HR packaged language here,
So good.
but an ordinance aimed at further protecting public health and improving the quality of life of all residents. And how are they planning on doing that? Well, they go further and say the local ordinance is to meet modern smoke-free standards. Okay.
I see a lot of, I mean, not to, in China it's different. China smokes like a chimney. But over here, I don't really notice a lot of people vaping inside. This ordinance pertains
Cheers.
to indoors,
Cheers.
right?
Cheers.
Like on the patio, I assume is still fine. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, San Antonio.
Is this live?
We're on Facebook Live.
Yep. We're on Facebook Live. This is live. Industry Pop
We got
Live.
more viewers when you popped in.
Wonderful.
So, when you look at these, I always look at the language, right? Because there's probably an HR group out there or a think tank that has picked each word very strategically, okay? And so when they say to meet modern smoke-free standards, I'm like, okay, so what is modern? What do they mean by that? And then I was like, so you have modern smoke-free standards versus like mid-century modern where it was like required to smoke.
We just watched a movie yesterday where the guy was vaping and the other guy was smoking a cigar, and You know, he's like, well, what's the difference? Why can you vape and I can't smoke my cigar? It's all smoke, right? That's the definition of
Mhm.
smoking.
Well, that is what the San Antonio City Council
I see.
thinks as well. Now, they also go on to say that so sections of the municipal code need to incorporate, so here's one name, electronic smoking devices, which are called ESDs, also known as e-cigarettes or vapes.
Well, they have a lot of devices out there that are not e-cigarettes, right? They're just contraptions that like you have an oral fixation to.
Well, that's four names for one thing. My gosh. Like that just tells me the vaping culture is pretty deep, man.
They want to be very, very clear and cover all of their bases.
But you know, like it's serious, right? When they give an acronym to something. So electronic smoking devices, they're labeling it as ESDs. I mean, these aren't like improvised, explosive devices. Like, but like that's when it's real. That's when it's real. So the crusade against vaping, uh, they're a little late in the game, like I said. There's actually what they call puffing Olympics.
Oh,
They puff. There's an Olympics for competitive
all
vaping.
sorts of.
I know. Hang on.
Yeah.
Then.
And they call them cloud chasers. Now, if you haven't seen these, you really have to check them out. I would say that there's a lot of skill involved here.
Oh.
If you ever seen like Eddie Van Halen playing the piano and then he like smokes, a ring. Well, these guys are doing like rings that are the size of the room
Oh, wow.
and then like shooting a sail, like a boat through it too. Like, very, very crazy.
Puffing Olympics.
Yeah.
What's the penalty if you're caught using an ESD inside?
That's a great question. They hope it doesn't get to that though,
Yeah.
because now all non-smoking places, like let's just say Dashi, are gonna have to have a new sign that also has a vape, whatever that looks like. And then, because I've seen these contraptions, they can look like Gandalf's, Gandalf's pipe.
Restaurants, most people are pretty mindful about not doing it inside. It's just
I think it's more for the
more
bar
scene.
scene.
bar scene, and
Yeah.
maybe like in the mall or something.
Yeah,
Anything indoors is what I understood.
anything indoors. So they're gonna have to have the puffing Olympics if they're in San Antonio outside. That's a plot twist. Now, I just hope there's not a draft that day. It's not too windy. But if they do choose San Antonio, they should definitely choose it when it's not
That
windy
doesn't
outside.
apply to hookah lounges and cigar bars, right?
I think it's all the
They
non-smoking
have-
establishments.
That they have a special
Whoa.
permit and
I
ordinance
think
for
the
that.
cigar bars have a special room inside the
Uh-huh.
place.
Well,
They-
hookah lounges.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
So I don't know anymore.
Well, I wonder now that they're gonna stab the flag of victory, right? The city is into vapors. I wonder if there's gonna be like in 50 years, there's gonna be like a vapors rights movement,
Oh,
and then we're gonna look back on our generation and say we were just, not tolerant, and then vaping just becomes pervasive, like smoking is in China. I don't know, but vapors are, well, they can't smoke inside anymore, so. There's a headline. I just thought that was very interesting. No more ESDs inside.
Okay.
All right. Now, moving on. Our next topic is something that I thought was super interesting because as we move into the future, we're always looking as operators on trends, right? What can we do to enhance the guest experience, service? What can we be doing with our menus? Right? We're always looking for an edge. We're trending what the guests want. Well, there's a huge development. It's going to be in Seguin. Seguin is getting an Applebee's IHOP hybrid. It's
What
going
does
to
that mean? What does
I'm
that
trying
mean?
to picture it.
What
Yeah.
does that mean?
Your chicken tenders are gonna be wrapped in a pancake.
Or what? Applebee's is serving breakfast?
So the rendering they had for this was amazing because
Don't
on one side,
I don't know.
I don't know. I thought Applebee's was a lunch
And dinner.
dinner. So on
Sorry,
one side, you're going to have
Yes.
Applebee's, right, with the bar, And then on the other side, you're going to have the IHOP, but the bar's in the middle, so the bar is accessible to both. I mean, that's where your margins are, right?
I like the bar.
So it's a
Boozy brunch.
bar restaurant hybrid, a restaurant bar.
It will
Okay.
help with your IHOP wait to be able to go drink while you're
So
waiting.
the hybrid is having both of them
In one building.
In one.
and accessing all the same kitchen, same bar.
Yes, it's vertically integrated.
What is it called?
Apple Hop,
Apple.
IB's,
IBs. I like that. It's
IB's.
a good name.
I think it's just called Applebee's and IHOP.
I feel like we have to go there on opening day to do this whole thing together, all four of us.
yeah,
We need to be there.
We're gonna do we are gonna do a podcast at the Applebee's,
No, at the IBs.
at IB's,
When they open.
Apple Hops in Seguin.
Yes.
Now this is a phenomenon, this hybrid model that they've been piloting all over the world. Now this is the first time they're piloting this in the United States, and they chose of all places
San Antonio. Well, Seguin.
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 30
San Antonio.
To be a lot of research behind brands like that into location, since location is king, right? Next to cash, location is king.
Or they just said, why not?
Yeah, why not? It's like exactly. It's like it's not really high risk, right? Piloting in Seguin versus like let's say Times Square, But I think that would actually do good there.
Times
But-
Square?
Yeah,
Or the king?
Times Square would be good.
Times Square would be good.
I don't want to be negative, but I'll meet you at
Chili's?
no, burnt, what's
Burnt-
up?
Burnt beans.
Bean.
Burnt bean,
Burnt bean.
burnt bean.
Thank you. This food is amazing.
I got distracted.
Mm-hmm.
So that's big news for Seguin. They're going to be getting a first, right? A hybrid. Now, I think this is a big win for Seguin. It's most likely a very big win for Applebee's and IHOP for them to come together like that. But it's also a big win, believe it or not, for, I think, alien human hybrid theorists. Do you know about these people?
Not a clue.
Not a clue? We're
Mm-mm.
one step
Inform me, Brandon.
Okay, we're one step closer because when you you're mixing the two now, alien human hybrid theorists believe that aliens are abducting people and then they're making babies, right?
Okay.
And the Pentagon has exposed little flying things going around that they've acknowledged.
I figured it out. The aliens abducted the IHOP, impregnated it with the Applebee's, and then now we have a alien hybrid Applebee's IHOP called IB's.
We have IBs. That's it.
That's
That's
definitely. I watched a documentary on that. That's great.
Yeah, coming to you soon on Netflix.
It is already on Netflix, and that
It's
means
already
I
on
already know who we need to call for this. Like, put it on
It's already on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Episode 8 of the Alien Show will be IB's.
I would really like to pitch that, but
I
it's
can
like
do that.
yeah, okay.
I don't know everybody there, but look, if you're watching Netflix, we got a show for you.
All right, so that's big news. Seguin, congratulations, right? That's almost as big as their Michelin bib de gourmet. No, it's not. Okay, no, it's not. But so yeah, that's big news. I mean, huge headlines.
Yeah.
Huge headlines. Those are big chains, right? So instead of like shutting them down, they're combining forces like the Transformers here.
Are they related at all?
They're under the same ownership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, whereas some big chains are combining forces, other big chains are dividing, pushing against each other. Now, there's some contention here, and I don't know if anyone's heard about this, but KFC is suing San Antonio's own Church's Chicken.
Rude.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all know about this?
No.
Churches was started here in San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio. Yeah. So big news.
What's the
I didn't know
the
about it
dish?
until I get all my news.
What's the
Brandon.
tea?
What's the tea? What's the tea? Okay, so coming from this is out of my San Antonio, right? The world of American fried chicken chains has been shaken by a battle of the brands following a lawsuit from good old Colonel Sanders. Kentucky Fried Chicken, otherwise known as KFC, has filed a suit with the U.S. District Court of East Texas, against Church's Chicken, right, over the use of the two words. You're not gonna believe this.
Fried chicken.
They've trademarked this. KFC has original recipe. Original recipe.
But isn't this your?
I don't
Is-
know. That sounds
That's
crazy.
not fair.
So how long ago has this been trademarked? So that means I can't use the word original recipe?
So they trademarked that term, that phrase back in the
As
70s.
applicable to
Fried
everything?
chicken, right? Fried chicken only or anything. Nobody can use original recipe.
It's trademarked, so no one can use
I
that.
thought
Well, they're not suing us. We don't have enough money to get the lawsuit.
all right, well, let's test it out.
Did you know this?
Mm.
So you can't say original recipe. You don't. I don't know. I think that needs to be revisited.
But there's more. There's more.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So KFC is seeking damages
Oh my
arising out of defendants' acts of willful trademark infringement, unfair competition, and trademark dilution, among other demands. So that's a big insult. So they're like, well, your brand is obviously not us. You using it is diluting our brand. That's like a
I just want to know,
smack.
like, what is KFC's annual revenue versus Church's Chicken? Like, it seems like the big
I
guys
have
get
no
a little
idea,
high.
and I have no idea what
Rude. I just think it's rude.
So
Original recipe.
So now they're saying that because churches did not recall their marketing materials, they're saying they need to do that, and then they need to cancel their advertising campaign. So I have a theory about this, right? Because the two are obviously competitors, right? It sounds like churches is actually looking for a fight here,
Mhm.
right? Because they've known about this trademark
for a long time.
for 50 years.
But is it not valid that their recipe is also original? Like, how can that actually be a valid trademark?
Well, there's no bad press.
Exactly.
There's
That's
no
not-
bad press.
Exactly.
So bring it.
So that was what I was getting to, is that their marketing gurus at churches knew about this.
That's like
And-
a whiskey company saying that single cask bourbon is a trademark term.
But we should trademark it today, and then we have can sue a lot of people.
Perhaps in the 70s, no one was using the term original recipe because it was inherently known that they were original.
Hmm.
Until they started to scale and time went by, that the original recipe actually meant something because there was time to make it original.
But I make a lot of original recipes every day, so I just
Original recipes is okay. There's
we've
that
said,
and
but like, but then, but this is my new original recipe.
now if YouTube takes this down,
because
I
I
get a cease and desist from KFC. We've said it like
You'll
50
still be my
times.
friend.
Yeah.
we don't use it in any of our advertising though.
Yet, we might, but no, there's no bad press.
What's your
One
question?
question would be, when did they actually do the trademark? When was it?
1970 something?
74.
And then when did churches open? So
Churches opened in 52 in San Antonio.
So there could be a grandfather clause, and they say, "Sorry,
Good point here,
I
lawyer.
don't know how someone validated that
I
trademark.
should have been."
The lawyers got us. Yeah,
Seems crazy. I wish
Yeah.
I knew more.
yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens, and I think whatever happens,
Let's go eat some church's chicken.
let's go to church's chicken, and a San Antonio staple.
We're on team SA.
So, going into now, I think a more beefier topic, not exactly a headline. We've made it through some headlines that I thought were pretty interesting. Now, wait, not exactly a foodie headline,
Okay.
but did y'all see the mattress fly
I
out of
did.
the truck?
I didn't see it.
I did.
I read about it. Yeah.
So it was I believe it was the Express News. They said flying mattress unlocks fears of drivers. New fear unlocks new fear of drivers now. Like, this is going to be a normal
But
thing.
do your viewers know what movie we all learned from our childhood that about that kind of stuff to watch out for?
Yes,
Final Destination.
yes.
So there's no way that anybody who was born in our generation would be anywhere near that car with that mattress in their first place. So we'd
Oh.
be safe. We're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have slowed down and given space because we would have known it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been amazed to see that happen. I've seen things fly, but never a mattress, and never one that like got that high velocity. I mean, that sucker like started flying.
Cuts people's heads off, man. That's why we can't watch it. Final Destination.
I know.
Zhao warns you how to drive. Teaches you how to drive better.
And then the Express News and their clickbait unlocks new fears. It's like it went so fast it created like a Stargate, right? It's like and it like opened a new dimension and like the freaking mattress is like falling on
Yeah, we're
an
all afraid.
abandoned planet.
I needed a Xanax to drive here today, so you know, so afraid.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. Just another headline before we get into something else.
Okay, I didn't hear that one this week.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Were you sleeping?
Dodged it.
You dodged it. That you did.
So now we're going to go into something on the national level. It is put out by the National Restaurant Association, and they put out a future forecast, a culinary forecast on what's hot 2025. Okay, so they're projecting, the National Restaurant Association is projecting what is going to trend in all of next year. So I thought this was interesting because when you see someone like the National Restaurant Association who lobbies for essentially all of the state restaurant associations flow into that, and then they're in DC pushing for policy, right? Versus your statewide ones are pushing for state policy. So I think it's really interesting what they have to say because it could impact us here at the state level, right? Or the city level. And so when they had, what's hot 2025, I want to see what's hot, right?
What did
This
they
is
say?
industry pop.
What
What's
did they
hot?
say?
What do we know?
Okay. So, they broke it down into the top 10 overall, like a top 10 list of what's going to be hot.
Okay.
We'll start with 10. We'll work our way up.
Okay.
All right. 10 value deals.
I don't believe in discounts.
Value deals. Okay. Creative spritzes at 9. Creative spritzes. Wellness drinks.
Okay.
Right? So shakes of some kind. Fermented pickled foods at number 7. Hyperlocal beer and wine at number 5. Hot honey at number 4. Korean cuisine at number 7.
You said 5?
Oh, sorry, 3. Sorry, 3. I'm counting my fingers here. Cold brew at number 2. All right. And the overall trend to see, the hot trend in 2025 is going to be sustainability and local sourcing.
Okay. What do y'all
That's-
think?
I
I think
feel
it's been around already.
All right. I want to see what the list was for last year and the
Yeah.
one before because
I feel like
the
hot
holidays have
honey's
been around for a while.
already been done
Hot
for
minute.
forever. Like
It's been hot for a minute.
hot honey's gone. I thought.
Yeah.
I feel like what I'm surprised that's not on here is CBD drinks because I feel like in San Antonio when
Yeah,
we go
wellness
out,
drinks,
we're
creating
seeing
spritzes.
the CBD is not a wellness drink, is it? Do you consider that a wellness drink?
It has some medicinal benefits values,
Or,
right?
or Christina, whatever you
It's
think.
organic.
However we justify.
It's a
I
green.
think it deserves its own. I think it
I understand what
deserves
you
its
mean.
own category. And I
Hint
feel
and
like
fuchsia.
cold brew would go to be like cold brew infused cocktails like espresso martinis, which have been all over this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think cold brew is that big of a deal anymore. But maybe it's just
Pretty
me.
pervasive, right?
Huh.
It's
I
like
guess it's everywhere. You're right.
like
It's
when
a
they
thing.
invented cold brews, like it's like you only had hot coffee at one time. No one even imagined putting ice in coffee.
That's not what a cold brew is.
I guess I
Well, what is a cold brew then?
So a cold brew,
Like a cold brewski?
no,
like a beer?
it means that you brewed the coffee with cold water
Water.
versus hot.
Oh.
And so
Slow
all you do is
maturing.
you literally soak your coffee grounds in the refrigerator for 24 hours, and that is cold brew.
And that's a recipe, guys. We charge for that.
That sounds revolutionary.
Nope.
We
Anyway.
we talked about that a couple of years ago, actually, with what's her name? Coffee Chanel.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
You know,
yes,
She
yes.
was doing that a
Mm-hmm.
while
that
back,
was a
but
few years
it's kind of
ago.
like a keg style thing. You know, you have to have, so
That's
we
I
couldn't do it
guess
if we
that's
didn't
to
have
serve.
space. Huh?
Yeah, that's to serve it, right?
Yeah.
It's
My other question is like, if people want sustainability and local first, then it kind of contradicts value deals because typically having sustainable, locally sourced food is more expensive than having a value-based meal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like a
you
little
know,
bit like a yin. But you know what I want this list to be? New hot trends. I think that's what my issue is. I want to see the new hot trends of 2025.
There you go. Yeah, that's a
Brandon, for the next episode when you inform me on
new hot trends. Well, I think we should just make our own.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, make our own new hot trend.
CBD,
CBD.
number 5.
Shoot.
It's like right there.
Number 4, dining while podcasting.
Okay. Okay.
I eat more food, but I'm down for that. I agree. Okay.
What do you think, Dorian?
Number 3,
Keep going.
Okay. Number 3. Okay.
number 3,
Trends.
don't they have air bars now?
What?
Air
Oh,
bars.
with the nose.
Oxygen bars.
I did that, and I did not like it. It made my nerves.
I mean, people
my
are
notes hurt.
consuming. They can consume air
Free
as well,
oxygen.
right?
What? So
Yeah.
you
It's like an air thing, and it pumps smells. It's supposed to help you out, but I
The
mean,
oxygen is great for hangovers.
I'm not sold. Have you done it and it worked?
Well, no.
they give everybody an oxygen tank?
You get
and
your
they
own
get
little
their-
tank. You get your own little thing. It's like a humidifier blowing moist oxygen
Oh.
into your
Yeah.
nose and with smells. And
Are we good with that one at 3?
I mean, I don't know if that's a thing, but sure, if you want it, Brandon.
Okay.
It's your list. Okay,
Yeah.
Brandon's world. We're
All right,
living
number
in it.
2. All right, number 2.
I mean, I think this alien IB is like the new hot thing coming out. Like, watch out, world.
Restaurant hybrids, right? Just coming together.
Layers.
Yeah. And
We were talking about that today. We had a poker room, restaurant, hookah lounge. It was not there anymore. It was not there anymore. But I guess that's not a trend then.
I don't know. Oh, what's number
Oh,
1?
number 1. This is really important, guys. Don't mess it up. You're up.
Oh,
You know all the hot things.
no. I'm retired.
How about like good food and good service?
Good service.
Good service.
The
Good
food is
service.
good. The service is questionable. Okay. Good
I mean,
service.
that
Yeah.
should be trending all the time, right?
And yeah, that is
Like really good service. When you go into a restaurant, they know your name, they know who you are, they remember you.
Yeah,
know.
you might be expecting too much
Open
there.
table lets you put notes in. You can just put notes about your customers. in there.
Mike Sutter referred to that one time. He wrote about us. Industry. What was the word? Remembering. When he came in to review 3 years ago, she remembered exactly what he had.
Oh no.
You know,
You've
so
done a
it's-
great job if you have the same person there as you did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Retention.
So it's just,
retention
it's just remembering your people. And
keys of a great operator over here.
all right. So that's our 5. Now we're gonna dive down into some other categories. So here's their opening statement, just so you can understand their overall or overarching perspective here. They say personal and planetary well-being, coupled with a deeper exploration of Southeast Asian cuisines, takes center stage in the 2025 What's Hot Culinary Forecast.
That's great. I'm happy I'm best friends with both of you to help me do more Asian food. Go ahead.
Yeah. Industry professionals identified restaurants' commitment to sustainability as the leading overall trend that will impact where customers choose to eat out. Now, I've got some thoughts on this because sustainability is the key word right now. Actually, this is our 3rd podcast in a row. We're talking about sustainability, and the NRA is saying that is going to be the number 1 factor for people's decisions and where to go eat.
Well, and we go back to how do you define sustainability? Are you only referring to, I guess one of their keys is referring to locally sourced, but what about the other components of sustainability?
I agree.
So I'm just wondering what bubble these people are living in who wrote this, because sustainability for let's just say us is actually keeping the doors open, right? And are people really looking at where we're sourcing things like for example, Dashi has a craft cocktail bar. I think that's the closest we get to kind of going into that type of language.
We are farm to table. The produce that we get comes from a farm. It may not just be one here in San Antonio.
I do think
Then some of our ingredients we can't find locally too. But it's still a scratch kitchen, and so that some of those practices and sustainability is not having so much product waste and using all of the product that you bring in. So just how do you define it?
I also think like what I'm seeing too that's happening, like we had conversations this year, I think it'll come in execution next year, is utilizing your kitchen waste into your bar programs or vice versa. So like with the clarified punches and like with
Let's
all
change
the
that word waste.
Yeah.
wait, waste, but like using all of that product,
All of the, yes.
the byproducts,
No, no, not byproduct.
Yes.
okay, and using that in bar programs or vice versa. So when you see these clarified punches or you're seeing these infusions, how do we, like, we fat wash something, now taking that fat wash bourbon and using that butter or wherever you fat washed it in a culinary perspective and kind of using it all the way through. That's what I think is, in my opinion, if that's what they're talking, that's what they're talking about. It's how we draw it throughout.
I think, yeah, I think that's what they're talking about.
Pendulum.
Yeah, inside the program, and of course where those items are coming from. But I think from my perspective as an operator, and then in our relationship with our customers, I don't know if that's going to be the number one thing. Food's got to taste good.
I
Got to have great service. You have to have decent ambiance. I mean, some
has to be
people
consistent.
consistent. Yep. Has to
And
be close in
to
location.
deliver in their perception of value.
Mhm.
Not saying that anything's cheaper or expensive, but just for that consumer, it has to be at a value point that they appreciate.
Yeah. I would just caution like the NRA because the Overton window is kind of shifting, right? And in society. And so I think their messaging is on sustainability. But I don't know if that's a sustainable message because I don't know if people are really looking at that. And so from what I'm seeing,
People in the industry are, because you're not talking about just restaurant operators, you're talking about chefs, you're talking about farmers, you're like sustainability is a huge, even for UNESCO City of Gastronomy criteria, sustainability is one of the pillars for a city to qualify to be a city of gastronomy. Are your practices sustainable? And there means that sustainable slow cooked foods is also a huge movement too, and that is in regards to the whole process of how the food starts from the ground and ends up on your table. So lots of, it's just helping to understand what they mean for sustainability. Well,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
going back to the word waste, I think it's something that we do too much of, instead of, you know, be more sustainable and not being so wasteful. And whatever does have to go, let's start composting it. There's a lot of places that they're putting compost machines in there
mhm.
and reusing it and just not be as wasteful.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it comes at a cost.
It does come out of college.
Yes.
Well,
The-
And our people,
She-
our
But is
consumers
Is that
pay
cost
for it.
sustainable?
it's teaching your staff not to be wasteful and
Right.
use it all.
Figure out a creative way to make use of, I mean, that back in the day, in the early days, like before technology and everything, even the natives, right? They go hunt and so forth. Every part of that animal is utilized.
Right.
And so if we're going back to the origins of not being wasteful,
Yeah.
that
Okay. All right. Well,
And
we could.
in Europe, a lot of grocery stores do that. And they don't just throw it away. They send it to these homeless places and they use all that food. The food is good. It's nothing wrong with it. They just don't want to use the piece or,
right,
keep,
right.
something that we should do here in the United States.
Well, we could go on and on about sustainability,
Mhm.
but the NRA goes into top dishes. Top dishes for 2025. They say Korean cuisine, okay, Vietnamese cuisine, Filipino cuisine, customized croissants,
I'm happy with that.
yeah, and then mushroom infused dishes.
See,
Okay,
I like that.
infusing mushrooms in dishes. Is that like
I feel like
what is that?
I feel like that's leaning more towards like the
your
vegan.
coffee. Oh no, mushrooms.
Oh, but maybe,
all
maybe
over
it's
the-
just one of our friends made those really great mushroom infused.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
it's a huge hype right now. I don't
The beignet
say the
stand.
name brand.
They're making mushrooms.
yeah.
They're making mushroom marshmallows, and I just had it with CBD in them because that's what on our
My
list.
God.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I don't know if that's like a thing that they're selling, but I had it. I was like, oh, it's nice.
Mushroom teas, mushroom
Mu-
coffee.
mhm,
That's
mushroom
true.
coffee.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of medicinal properties of mushrooms that are being shared
Yeah.
with the world right now.
Yeah, love it. Okay. So I thought it's
Sesame
interesting.
has a lot of mushrooms.
So their number one top dish is Korean cuisine, and they explained why. So Korean or K-dramas
Oh.
have a distinctive niche in global entertainment, including in the US. Combined with popular new Korean cooking competitions and food documentaries, viewers have become especially curious about Korean food traditions and innovations.
Think about like the general flavor profile of Korean food. It's very how do you say? I think appeals to the general masses because it's a little bit spicy, not super, in my opinion, not super spicy. I'm sure there's some dishes that can get spicier, but it's also sweet, it's savory, it has a little bit of tang to it, and so it kind of touches on all your
Palette.
palate and
Palate,
on
yeah.
the flavors, and it's a deep, like a balanced harmonization of everything that majority of people can tolerate or can accept.
The huge thing that's going on right now here in San Antonio, at least the Korean chicken wings.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I know
Fried
this
chicken.
one company, yeah, they have three chicken wing places now here in San Antonio. And
Wow.
it's growing. You know,
Okay. K-pop is in. K-pop is in.
Now, is their batter different? Do they fry the chicken different than, is the fry itself different than the topping?
I'm thinking the flours that they're using, rice flours or whatever else.
The most important question is it their original recipe?
That's right. Be careful out there.
Just want to know if it's the original recipe or not. I just need to know for closure.
Yes. Good question.
Okay, jumping into top ingredients. Number 1, honey and seeds.
Love it.
Okay. 2, functional mushrooms, not dysfunctional mushrooms. Okay. 3,
That's after work.
that's it. Yeah, that's not on the list, but it's somewhere close. Number 3, pineapple. 4, tamarind, and then 5, ube.
That's interesting. You have no protein in there.
Ingredients. Yeah, no protein. You can use
So
protein.
beef is not what's for dinner.
Don't
Well-
say that too loud. We are in Texas.
We have
Texas beef is always for dinner.
Chengdu cowboy right here.
Chengdu cowboy right here.
It's
The
so
main
good.
ingredient.
What's for
main
dinner.
ingredient, that's what's for dinner.
And
y'all.
it's so good.
I just remember those commercials like all the time back when we were little. Beef.
No, I'm
What's for
glad you
dinner?
brought up pineapple.
I love
Because
pineapple.
where I grew up in Central America, Panama, the pineapple, what we used to eat there, and the last time I was there was 2019, compared to the pineapple that we get here, is two different worlds.
Oh,
Mm.
You know, it's so, because the way they have to cut it early, transport it, and use all these gases to make it, if we were able to get more real fresh pineapples here, that are ripe,
but is it sustainable?
we'll start our own pineapple.
All right.
Let's buy some land in the hill country. Let's go.
Okay, all right.
So I think a pretty good list. I think everyone had an ingredient on there that they like to see. So going into honey. So they say, and I like how they say this because it's almost like a backhanded compliment to honey.
Mhm.
But they say honey is a sugar, but it's high in antioxidants, has anti-inflammatory properties, and it's a natural, versatile product. So they're basically saying, yeah, honey's a jerk, but honey's really awesome, honey's a jerk, but honey's a really good guy. So then they go and they continue to say it's rich, mild flavor pairs perfectly with seeds, nuts, and spices in an unlimited number of culinary combinations. They go on to say mushrooms are out of the shade. Okay, mushrooms are out of the shade and into the spotlight. Yep, celebrated for their versatility as ingredients, as meat substitutes, and for their potential functional properties, including cognitive support, mood enhancement, and energy boosting. Well, it sounds like they're talking about a different mushroom.
The mood
There.
enhancement, no, but I take this I don't want to say the name, but I take this mushroom 1 teaspoon every day.
Uh-huh.
It's supposed to be helping with,
What do you think?
more cognitive.
How's it working for you so far?
I just started,
Oh, yeah.
but I like
There's
it.
nothing wrong with a bunch of fun guys, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
I've always loved mushrooms.
So I thought this adding mushrooms was interesting, and how they characterize it as a meat substitute is also interesting. So they say, it's a meat substitute and potential functional properties, but they're also saying,
And hardiness and like just the texture wise, it's able to hold a lot of flavor the same way that protein would.
right,
I
Right.
think vegan and vegetarian is still hot for people.
There's a lot of nutritional value in the mushrooms as well. So I mean, they're a sought after ingredient, maybe even in Chinese cuisine.
well, I would caution the National Restaurant Association on going too far against meat, especially here in Texas. I wonder what the TRA would say about that. There's a global initiative to reduce meat consumption across the globe for a number of reasons, and it would seem that the NRA is somehow integrated into that narrative. Maybe not explicitly, but this little hints of it right there. I hope they don't get on the bad side of their Texas constituents.
Do you have similar statistics like this for NACE that you guys put together? And
I can ask, and I'm also on the TRA state board, so I can ask for TRA
Yeah.
and maybe get you some data on that too.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to know what our locals
Would say
are saying.
I
Yeah.
can find out. Episode 7.
episode 7 coming soon. Coming soon. Top flavors and condiments. Number
Here you go,
one,
hot honey.
hot honey.
It's that
Yeah.
spicy sweet kind of combo, which
They're
makes
hot
it
on honey.
lends well
Okay.
to the whole Korean
Mm-hmm.
food element as well, the little pungentness. Plus, and then their next one is
Fermented and pickled foods.
okay,
Matcha, miso,
which are all
and
Japanese, by the way.
Spicy maple.
spicy maple.
Again with the
Spicy what?
Maple.
so hot
Spicy
honey and spicy maple.
I
They're
wonder,
not
like-
basically the
I wonder how they pick
same,
these lists.
except one is they're produced differently, but
I wonder how they like get to this list. Like, is it a poll or is it like just people in office?
to ask.
So
I know.
they
Find out.
So they said that they basically sent out a survey to leaders in the restaurant community.
Oh,
And based on that feedback, they've accumulated it and boiled it down to
and
what
it's
they're
nationwide, so
nationwide. Yeah.
right.
I really like the honey thing,
So,
especially here in Texas. We're kind of coming up with the cedar season,
uh-huh.
Mhm.
and you're supposed to eat raw honey from the area,
Yeah.
Gotcha. To help.
and it really helps me.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Thanks for
Oh,
thanks
yeah.
for healing me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right. So moving into top beverages. All right, the fun stuff here. Top beverages. Number one, as we were talking about, cold brew. Right, brewed in cold water, then refrigerated overnight. 2, wellness drinks with vitamins, supplements, or fiber.
Or CBD.
It does not say that. It goes into boba, kombucha, and fermented drinks, as well as energy drinks.
I don't like that anymore.
So Red Bull is in it, right?
No, there's a new one. It's like with the A.
And
Amped.
Amped or something maybe.
Yeah,
That's what's hot with the kids.
the kids these days.
They don't need extra energy.
No, not at all.
They really put Red Bull in there?
No, no.
they put energy drinks.
See, I'm not-
Energy
I'm not blind. I can't
drinks
see that far.
as a category,
Okay,
but I
but
mean
it's not allowed in several countries.
there's a lot of interesting ingredients in some of these products. So
Yep.
read the labels before you consume.
Yeah, they say wellness conscious consumers of all ages are driving the growing interest in beverages that boost energy levels, lower stress, enhance digestive health, and sharpen cognition. They're seeking beverages that not only taste good, but that potentially improve immunity and increase general well-being.
I see.
All right.
So they're talking about prebiotics?
Yeah.
Like kombucha?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kombucha and fermented drinks. So that's so you're seeing a more wellness conscious approach. And
Hey, yogurt is like that too, right?
Yogurt?
has a lot of probiotics, prebiotics.
That's
Yeah.
true.
yeah. So okay, so that's
You're
an interesting trend. If you have a bar or a beverage program, you may look into
Alcohol
Those-
is not on this list.
those types of offerings.
Oh wait,
It's
two
its
categories.
own
Okay, there's
list,
another
yeah.
category. Gotcha.
So their
Okay.
final category is top beverage
With
alcohol.
alcohol. Okay. Let's hear it.
So number 1 is hyperlocal beer and wine. Okay. Number 2, creative spritzes. Number 3, flights.
I love it.
Number 4, innovative old fashions. And number 5, 90s martinis. Espresso and apple martinis are back.
They are everywhere.
I have not had an apple martini yet.
I
I haven't seen it on the menu as much as I've seen espresso martinis. Have you?
It's probably, well, maybe it's coming. I mean, apple cinnamon is about that time of year, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's fall.
So,
Yeah,
but
espresso.
espresso martinis, we've seen
All
them
over the place.
everywhere, all over.
We're making an espresso martini tiramisu.
Daiquiris on there.
Yeah.
It's about that time.
It is.
So they say with sustainability topping the overall 2025 What's Hot list, it's no wonder that hyperlocal beer and wine are predicted to be beverage menu must-haves in the coming year. So again, they're referring to sustainability and sourcing locally, hyperlocal, right?
They're promoting bootlegging.
Bootlegging.
Teasing, kidding. I mean, home brewed, right? Locally brewed, with a few more parameters, of course.
So that rounds out the What's Hot by the National Restaurant Association, and so I think they had some hits there, maybe some misses. Like Chef Adesuwa was saying, what's new, right? Going into what's new, not what is perpetually hot. You know, like Dorian said, a lot of this stuff in their top 10 has been hot. Well,
For a while.
For a
Well,
while,
yeah.
yeah.
It's been around.
It's
so I
kind-
guess
it's
they
like
wanna
kind of-
emphasize
It's
it.
still hot.
Still,
Still.
Still hot.
Yeah.
They just want to emphasize it.
He is.
now I will say that what's always hot is great service, right? Great food, great ambiance, great people. And I think we have a lot of that here in San Antonio. And so definitely go out to your local restaurants. And what do y'all have to say in closing comments?
Including, well, again, another big congratulations to all of our colleagues and friends who have taken home awards this year, and looking forward to seeing more of San Antonio be recognized.
Absolutely.
Again, I think I agree with that too. And I'm excited to see what 2025 has in store for our city and like what we're all going to be doing and the creativity that we all have. So it's going to be great. A great year.
All right, Dorian.
Big applause to Michelin for
Yes.
getting, helping San Antonio get on the culinary map. They do a great job, and we just need more of that here in San Antonio.
I agree.
Congratulations. So we are Industry Pop-S.A, a weekly podcast hosted by
Kristina, Zhao.
Chef here, and then myself, Brandon, aka Sichuan Papí. If you like the podcast, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be posting it to Facebook as well. Stay tuned for more heavy-hitting combo, as well as headlines and everything that's hot and pop in San Antonio.
Maybe we should have a dish of the week every week.
A dish of the week every week. Supplied.
We are talking about the dish, right?
Yes.
Dish
Yeah.
of the week using mushrooms.
Yes,
Oh.
mushrooms, hot honey,
Hot
Okay.
honey, mushrooms,
spicy maple.
spicy maple. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, San Antonio, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.